So guys, welcome back to part 3 of making a rap beat in Logic Pro, part 3 of this tutorial series. So as you can see, here's what we did last time. I'm just going to give that a quick playthrough. Yeah, so it just goes in a loop like that, so you get the gist of it. But basically, as someone stated in the comments rightly, 120 BPM isn't the best tempo for a rap beat. Now, when I was going through what I was going to do for the drums, that's what we're doing in this part, by the way. This tutorial is all about creating the drum beat, and that's going to be the main bit of a rap track, because the drums what creates the bounce, it creates the beat, it makes your head bop. So the drums are crucial part, and we're going to do this in this part. So when I was trying to create a drum beat, I realised a few errors with this track. The first error being, actually, let me do it. The tempo is the first error. So as you can see, that's a little bit too slow, or maybe not too slow, but just not the right tempo for the drum. Because I want to have the effect of that boom, ch, boom, ch, boom, ch, like that sort of the typical one you hear in hip hop of the snares going ch, 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 ch. I don't know, so bear with me if you get what I mean. But so I've just done a little bit of experimenting off camera, and I've decided a good tempo is a nice fast 150 BPM. So to change the BPM, by the way, you just get your mouse, click on it, and then scroll upwards, drag upwards, and then that changes the BPM. So there we go, change that to 150. So here's what that sounds like with no drum beat. So as you can see, it's starting to sound a bit more lively. But one thing I don't like with this, at this new tempo, is the fact that the bass moves a bit too much. So if you can hear this. By the way, I just did that by soloing out the bass by pressing the S there. But in that segment, the bass it's a bit too moving all over the place, like do 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 do. So what I've done is I've created a new little melody for the bass, which I feel better suits the faster tempo, because that movement will be created by the drum beat. So I've just got another little part over here. So I'll give you a quick play of what I did, and I'll show you how I did it as well. That's what it's going to sound like. So I'm going to delete this and drag this into here. So it's going to sound like this. So that just sounds a bit cleaner. And if you're wondering how I did that, it's literally really simple. Sorry I did this off camera, but in fact I might just do it again just to show you how I did it. So those are the notes. It's A, D, C. So it's really simple bass pattern. I could show you how I did that, but I literally just recorded it and did it. I think you all know how to do that, just recording some notes. So, but these notes hit a little bit on the offbeat, which creates a nice contrast against the drums when they come in. So it's like this. I'll solo it out again. See how those last two notes of the bass hit on the offbeat? That creates a nice rhythm. And also with your bass, you want it to be sort of sitting underneath the track. And I'll talk more about that when we come to the mixing phase. But if there's too much motion in it, it's moving about like the previous one was, then it's going to be too prominent. So this, as this is a sub bass, we want it to be sitting nicely underneath the track, just providing some solid foundation. So I'm just going to copy and paste over. So with this, I'm holding Alt and selecting it and dragging it over. So, and I'm just going to do this all the same for now. We might change it later on to get a bit of variation. And also the reason why I'm bringing up bass is when you're doing drums, bass comes into it, because the way the kick and the bass impact each other is really, really crucial to how your drum beat's going to sound. So I'll talk about that more in the mixing phase as well. That will come in later videos. But now we're going to head on to putting the drums in. So I'm going to solo out just these 3 bits. So we've got... I'm just going to solo out those 3 bits so we can concentrate more on the drums and hear them a bit better. So you're going to go to New Track, Software Instrument, Create, and then you're going to click this little eye here, go on to Instrument and Drum Machine Designer down there. So when I often do produce drums, I use an external plugin that I bought, but in this series, obviously, I'm using all things that are completely free on Logic Pro, so everyone can do it basically. And along here, you have all your different drum kits. So I'm going to open musical typing by putting Window, Show Musical Typing. So now, along the side here, you have all your different drum kits. So, oh, 1 second. I didn't solo it out, so it was making a noise. So that's what this one sounds like, Big Room. That's the clap, snare, kick. So in this Big Room one, I quite like the kick. I quite like the clap. I don't really like the snare. I am familiar with these already because I use them sometimes. But this Atlanta one, I really like the snare. That's the kind of rhythm I want. That's the kind of rhythm I want. That you hear that loads in hip hop songs. So for now, I'm gonna do. One sec, let's play it. So now I'm just playing along. Oh damn it! Sorry, I think I haven't got much space on my computer, so it's doing this, but you'd have to bear with me. Oh damn it! This is annoying. Okay, so. So that's a drum rhythm that I like. So I'm gonna record that. So with the alternating kick and snare. So that's gonna be my first layer to the drum rhythm. So I'm just gonna press record and get that in. Okay, so sorry about this system overload thing. I'll get that sorted for next time. That's just happening because there's not very much space on my computer. Not much disk space, so it's kind of messing up things a little bit, but I'll sort that out for the next video. It'll be alright. I'll get through it in this one. So let's click on this, play it again. So obviously that's a little bit off time, so I'm gonna click, I click this like little scissors button to show the notes in the piano roll. So I'm just going to select all notes by dragging over them and do functions, quantize notes, but you can also just click Q as a shortcut. You can click Q and that will quantize the notes. So, okay, so now that's got a nice little bounce to it. So I'm going to copy that over. I'm just going to, in fact, I'll just loop the first 4 bars. So to loop, you press that one there. I think you already know that. Shorten it to there. First 4 bars. So now that's got quite a nice little bounce. I'm really sorry about this. That's got quite a lot. That's got quite a nice little bounce. Okay. So what I am going to do is you don't want to have your kick and your snare in the same track. So as in track, I mean there and like this is a track and this is a track. You don't want to have your kick and snare in the same track because when it comes to mixing, you're going to want to put things like EQs and compressors onto your kick and onto your snare separately. So what I'm going to do is create a new track, software instrument, create, go onto Drum Machine Designer again, and go onto Atlanta again. And I'm going to copy this over but on this one, I'm going to delete the kicks. Delete there, and on this one, I'm going to delete the snares. Okay, so I'll label this one. Oh, which one was which? I can't remember. Okay, this one was the kick, and this one was the snare. So separating these up is vitally important, because when you come to mixing, you're going to want to have them separate so you can put different EQs and compression on it and mix it well. But so make sure you do that. But this is what it sounds like now. And also, I'm just going to bring the volume down to -3 decibels of both of them, just because that's what we're doing for now before we mix it. Yeah, okay. So now I'm going to do another track. We're going to add some hi-hats in now. So all the different drum parts want to be on separate tracks. So I'm going to do new track, software instrument, create, click this eye, instrument, drum machine designer again. And we're going to do, I think we're going on Atlanta again. Yeah, it's Atlanta again. So I'm going to do window, musical typing, and now if you can hear that they're the hi-hats. Got a few little effects, so we might be able to add some percussion effects in as well. I want to get some hi-hats in on the offbeat to give it a nice bounce, so let's just play around for a bit and see what we find. Okay, you may not be able to hear it so well because it's quite hard to get the timings right at this tempo, but once I quantize it, you'll hear the effect it has. So I'm going to go ahead and record this so it's like that, and once I quantize it all, it'll be perfectly in time. But I'm going to have it hitting on the offbeat to give the track a bit of bounce. Okay, so that's recorded. Close that. Go into here and quantize notes. I'm just going to click Q to quantize the notes on my keyboard. So let's hear that now. That's not quite what I wanted at the end. Let me hear it again. In fact, that sounds quite nice actually. That sounds quite nice. So zoom in a bit. Shorten that till it's just there. One second. Oh, okay, so then it's going to come in here again. So copy and paste that over. So let's hear it. One sec, something's gone wrong there. I need to lengthen this again because that last note got cut out when I cut it to half. So I'll shorten the start of this. So it starts when that note comes in, and then I'll copy and paste that over. So all the notes are squeezed in. Yeah, there we go, that's better. It's not very neat and tidy, but to be honest, I'm not the most organised person. If you don't like it, dislike the video. There we go. Okay, that's creating a nice little bounce now. It's getting some rhythm to it. So now I think we're gonna have either another hi-hat or some percussion. So new track, software instrument, create. We'll go drum machine designer again. And the only problem with this drum machine designer, usually when I do hi-hats, I like to have one hi-hat that's arpeggiated, so it creates a really quick loads of hi-hats in one go, like a like that. But with drum machine designer, when you try and add what are these ones called? When you try and add another, when you try and add the arpeggiation, it doesn't let you. But that's one downside. That's why I don't use it often when I'm making beats. But I'm going off topic here. Okay, so now I'm just going to play around with some other stuff and see. I think I might get some cymbals in there or something like that. I'm just changing the sounds as well. Oh no. Okay, maybe I shouldn't do that because it's going to freeze my computer. So I'm going to have a cymbal sound crashing into the start like. Let's just test some of the cymbal sounds out. Apologies, my computer's really slow. Let's try Atlanta again. Quite like that one. Okay, I'm going to put that one in for now, and I might change that after. So I'm just going to do, let me just go ahead and record this. Okay, record. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and quantize those. Click on it, double click on it to get this up. And then select, and then press Q on the keyboard, quantize notes. Let's hear it again. Oh, that one's gone wrong. This note here is quantized wrong, so I know I want it to be on the first beat, so I'm just going to click on it and drag it to in line with the number 3 here, so it's on the first beat, or the third beat. Okay, that's starting to sound quite nice, giving it a bit of bounce, and that is the main effect of the drum. But in fact, I might add one. I'll add one more percussion element to it. Here we go. So software instrument, create, and I haven't planned this, by the way. I'm just doing this bit off the cuff. So this is drum machine design. I'm going to again. This is what you have to do sometimes with drums. Just get a bit creative with it and see what fits in really, what creates a nice rhythm. So let's hear it again. Oh, sorry, apologies about this. I'll also have this sorted for the next video. Okay, it's not liking this. My computer is just really slow. I think I'm going to leave it there for now for the drum. I'll give it one last try. If it doesn't work now, I'm going to leave it there. Okay, so let's click the library, sorry, to get the different instruments up. Musical type in. I might get a low hi-hat in there to give it some extra bounce. So now I'm just gonna unsolo those things and literally just have the drum playing. So I'm just going to do it to 2 so it stops this system overload thing. Hopefully that will work. But okay, maybe not. So now I'm just going to experiment around with some different sounds that might work. I really do apologise about this. I know I've said it a million times, but you know what? I think I'm going to leave it as that drum beat for now. I'll unsolo everything. It will play everything together, this will sound a bit messy at the moment. I'm gonna delete this bit for now. And also, don't forget to label this hi-hats and cymbals. I should have done that earlier. Hi-hats, cymbals, cymbal. So yeah, this will sound a little bit messy, but I'm going to play it all together. Hope if my computer lets me, and so you can see what the beats feeling like overall. So as you can see, it's got quite a nice little bounce to it. So I'll just copy this drum, highlight all of this, click, hold Alt to copy it over as I'm dragging, and copy it all the way over, like so. And now as I'm playing it through, I'll just mute some certain sections just to give you an idea of what it feels like to have some missing for when we arrange it, because we're going to take certain melodic parts out. Like, for example, we might take this effect out and take this out for a bit, and then we'll have that. We could take the bass out for certain parts to create build-ups, take this out, and then to build it up you could go put these back in here, and then you put your background synths back in, and then you put the bass back in, and it becomes more full. So when we arrange the track, we're going to do all stuff like that, and I'll take you through how to do that, and I'm going to take you through how to mix the drums in, because at the moment it's got the basis of the track is there, but it still sounds a little bit messy, a little bit muddy. By muddy I mean you can't hear all the different parts clearly. There's not enough clarity in the track yet. This has just created the bounce and the framework from which we can work. So there's still lots and lots of changes to be made before this point. And I'll get my computer sorted for before the next video. So apologies on that. Please bear with me with that. And yeah, I hope to see you in part 4. I hope you found this helpful, how to create the drum beats. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share it. Please like and share, because those two are so important for growing my channel. So like and share, and click on the links down below to watch my other videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.